This is 21 Next. I'm Jasmine Brooks, live inside the control center. Hey, it is 10:43. We're joining you a little later tonight, and we have a lot to get to, including Maxine Rose, who is covering a story that's pretty interesting. Okay, so I'm a mom. I love going to parks with my kids. I rely on them to keep us busy, and I know that for parents and for community members, this story is really going to hit home. Maxine, let's talk about it. Lancaster City Police considering hiring park rangers. And it comes after a certain park found drug paraphernalia at it?
Yeah, so Jasmine, Binns Park and the Ewell Plaza area right in front of the Lancaster Public Library has kind of been a problem for a while. So, they've seen a lot of people kind of congregate there, and that's where some of the issues have happened. And yeah, recently, within even the past week or so, there has been a series of overdoses, and then I believe it was Saturday that police then conducted a drug bust simply because they were in the area patrolling and were able to catch the seller of the drug
No, that was in broad daylight. We talked about that in the news meeting. It was like after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and so people are not being discreet about this at all. Talk about the drug that they're finding specifically here.
Yeah, so we know that there has kind of been this increase in the amount of times really we're seeing K2 be involved. So K2 is also called spice. You might hear a few other names there, but it's
synthetic marijuana.
Synthetic marijuana, yep. And it's having a lot of impact on the city, and that's what they were finding on Saturday as well. I did ask Lancaster City Police about that, and if they could kind of explain where that's coming from, and they were they just said that there's just a market for it right now, and unfortunately places like Binns Park allows people to kind of congregate there and for things like that to happen. But the when park rangers come in there, that part is really because they want more intentional policing, right? So we had over the weekend, they were around that area. They fortunately kind of intercepted this drug sale.
Right.
Essentially. But now with park rangers, what they're kind of hoping for is to allow police in the city to go and focus on, some other things around there, and that the park rangers would really have like a close eye on these parks all throughout Lancaster City, so that they can kind of keep staying ahead of the curve here.
Really quick, we're running out of time here, but Binns Park, what does that look like? We're showing a lot of the city here. What does that look like? Are we looking at swing sets? Are we looking at trees? What's it look like?
So that's Chris Dries back there, who we spoke to today. Behind him is the Lancaster Public Library, and right across the street from that is Binns Park, and it's really quite small, honestly, compared to some of the other ones, other parks in the area, and it's also right next to the Lancaster County Government Center there. So we know we've talked about that a lot in the past as well, with the fencing and stuff in that area because of the amount of unhoused or homeless individuals who have kind of congregated, as I said, in that area.
All right. Well, I want to know what people are saying, and we're going to check you out at 11 o'clock live on CBS. And so CBS 21, I see you're talking to a lot of those guys out there. I'm anxious to see what they have to say. Maxine Rose, thank you for your reporting. We'll see you at 11.
Okay.
All right. Well, the big story of the day is that Sonia McKnight has been found guilty. The verdict took under 2 hours, and she is guilty of attempted murder and aggravated assault. The victim, her ex-boyfriend, Michael McCoy, who took the stand over these past 2 days. Now today was the third day. They got to court, they deliberated, and the jury found her guilty within 2 hours. She's expected to be sentenced on those first-degree attempted murder and aggravated assault charges next month. And it's a case that we've been following since it happened last February, so more than a year ago. Michael McCoy shot in the face while in bed. He said, "I didn't shoot myself," and now she's been charged with doing it. McCoy was one of several people who took the stand. They had Susquehanna Township officers. They had experts, forensic experts. But opening statements began on Monday, closing arguments made yesterday, and deliberation today with the jury coming to a verdict really quickly. McKnight's defense attorney, he says that he respects the judicial process, but he will be appealing. This battle is not over, but she was taken away in handcuffs to jail. In fact, her bail was set at $3 million from $300,000, which it was before. $3 million, and again, taken to prison. So she'll be sentenced May 28th. All right. And if you want to read more about McKnight's story, we have a lot of coverage at CBS21.com. It's not the first time she's been in the news. And so we do go back and kind of give you a recap of what has happened over the past few years. Let's talk about President Trump kind of taking a halt with these tariffs for now. He's backing off on this global trade war, and he's declaring a drop on those tariffs against most nations to 10% for 90 days. You know, the Trump administration now for days insisting that the tariffs would stick until the U.S. reached fair trade agreements. So why now did he pause them? Well, he said he's been dealing with Scott Howard, other people that are very professional, and thinks that it probably, they put it together early this morning, he says. He wrote it up, he says, quote, "We did not have access to lawyers. We brought it up from our hearts," he says. It was written from the heart, President Trump says. Okay, well, President Trump says he didn't expect the impact his reversal would have on the stock market, which surged after he announced 10% tariffs for those 90 days, except, by the way, for China, which was to hit 125%. Let's talk about Governor Shapiro, our governor, weighing in on all of this, saying, quote, "I know these tariffs are going to make it harder for you." And so he's continuing to stand up and speak out. Today, he was actually the keynote speaker at a farmers agriculture event. And so that's how we were able to hear him. It was the PA farmers listening to our governor there. Joel D. Smith was on assignment today. Let's talk about that. He did a really cool story on a baseball bat, but it's not just any baseball bat. It is one a lot of people are talking about, and the creator is from Palmyra. So he got to go to the factory. It's the Torpedo Bat factory, as you can see it there. And Victa Sports, they make this really super successful torpedo bat. And the baseball world's really talking about it. It moves the sweet spot to match the player's tendencies. The results are really impressive, people are saying. The company was founded, though, by Jared Smith, and he is a former Palmyra high school baseball player. So how cool is that? You're totally going to see this full story tomorrow, but if you want a sneak peek, tune in at 11 o'clock to CBS 21. We'll hear from Jared Smith, and we'll get to see the bats being made. A little sneak peek coming your way. Finally, we want to go to our Tom Russell. Tom Russell has the forecast. It's not great, but here it looks like this. I can even say it for you really quickly. The weekend, it's not looking so hot. 58 for your high on Saturday, but look at the clouds there. We're going to see some rain over the weekend into Sunday as well. So 56, you know, and when we get to Monday, it's not looking great. 53 degrees with your low 34. Cloudy on Tuesday, 46 for your high. And then do we see a little bit of sun on Wednesday? Let's hope so, but it's still 52. So the several days of rain that we're going to see could, you know, kind of put a sad face on some of our emotions, but you know what? It is what it is. We'll get through it together. And thank you. With that, I'm going to hop on the news. So watch CBS 21 live at 11 o'clock. If you can't watch it from your television, pick up your phone or your iPad, because we're always live at CBS21.com. You can live stream us. But this is 21 Next on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Jasmine Brooks, live inside the Control Center. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, give us a like, do all the things, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye, guys.